3 a.m. in the morning, and I'm sitting all alone. Nighttime and it's a shiver, I can feel it in my bones.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pesky Pole Podcast. It's been a hot minute since I've said that. How are y'all doing? I've missed you guys. A lot of things have been going on, but it's been almost a year at this point. I'm going to try and keep it slightly consistent with this. I'm not going to put any deadlines or anything on myself like I did before because I just never follow them. I'm just going to keep it. I'm just going to do it whenever I can. Keep it fun. Keep this more as a hobby than anything. But joining me for this coming back episode, we have the backup plan, we'll call him, because Mr. Costa wasn't available. One of my close friends, Adam Wright. Adam, introduce yourself again to the people.
My name's Adam Wright, and I am the main plan.
No, you never. Nope, you never were the main plan. It's always the beautiful bastard Brian Kostiv, and then when he's not available, we go to you.
All right, episode 19. All right, episode 99. Taking a year off, looking ass.
Hey, we don't need to talk about that. All right, we got much more important things to talk about. But Adam is the
know
host.
your role and shut your mouth.
Nope, you're not going to quote WWE on me. Nope, you haven't watched enough WWE to do that. Okay, until you start shotgunning a beer to Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme song again, which I still have video of, by the way. You need to do it again, shirtless in your backyard. All right.
I think you need to do more podcast episodes in order to talk to me like this.
You're right. Okay, moving on. I would like to formally apologize for that previous statement. Anyway, we got a lot of things to talk about. The Red Sox are doing very well considering the circumstances, but are still last in the AL East because the AL East is one of the toughest divisions in baseball in the last 10 years. You can't say anything about that. All 5 teams are above 500, and we would be competing in the AL Central, or one of the top teams in the AL Central. Chris Sale is hurt again, and we got a few more things to talk about, including one of my favorite players getting re-signed this morning. All right. Without further ado, let's get right into that. First thing, Chris Sale hurts again. And this seems like it's a once every 3 months that he's in kind of thing. He's in for 3 months or less, and then he gets hurt for another 6 months, and we don't see him again. This time, it is I believe it was something in his arm. He hurt something in his throwing arm. But how much can we really rely on Chris Sale at this moment, Adam?
Not at all. He's a guy who you can be pleasantly surprised by. It was nice to see that he was starting to look like his old self for a few starts, but what I'm really happy by is Garrett Whitlock's progression. Even though he's taken a few steps back, he's shown that he can still pitch at the big league level. And also Brian Bayo. Those are the 2 guys who you should be looking at. But these veterans who Chaim Bloom is grabbing off the streets for pocket change, it means nothing to me. It really doesn't mean anything. It's nice to see that some of them work out every once in a while, but these are I just don't like the way Chaim Bloom looks at it with because he does just enough so that the team's competitive, but he doesn't do enough to commit when the team does get competitive during the season. And that bothers me a lot, especially since they're only a few years removed from winning a championship.
Only 5 years. You got to remember how much we're paying him too. That's the worst part. Now, did he earn this money off the back of, recent success with the Red Sox, aka having a dominant, basically we got him in 2017, 2018. Basically through the COVID years, those 3 years, he was electric. Does that justify paying him now?
No.
We got a ring out of it, so the argument is there to be made, but just in terms of everything, not really.
They paid him after. That's the key. They paid him after that season.
Well, yes,
and then 2019 he did not look like his old self. And then going into that 2020 season, he Tommy John So he was
Oh my
out
God.
for a while. Then he didn't come back until the end of 2021, where he was kind of productive at times, but clearly not his old self.
Didn't he
Then
proceed
he
to
got hurt
fall off a
again.
bike? Yeah.
Then he got hurt.
proceeded-
Then once the training wheels came off, he fell off the bike again. Got hurt.
What we call he pulled a Joe Biden. All right, that's what we call it. Okay.
All right. I guess you told me that we don't want to talk about politics, that we filter those out when the Pesky Pole podcast comes on.
Well, that's not so much talking politics as it's talking memes. Okay.
Just
Joe
alienating
Biden
half
falling
of your
off a
audience.
bike. That's not swinging one way or the other. That's just
Let's
saying
make fun
Joe
of
Biden fell off a bike.
Let's make fun of Donald Trump too.
Maybe later. But getting back on, I mean, you're 100% right. 2022, he wasn't that healthy. It was a shitty season for us. And then 2023 now and in 2024, he's going to be making $27.5 million. Before 2025 is a club option for 20 mil, which at this point, there's no way on God's green earth that the Red Sox are taking that. 36 years old, injury prone, $20 million. Hell no. No way.
Is he really 36 now?
No. Right now he's 34. But I'm talking
34.
in 2025. He will be 36 years old with a $20 million option for the club. Fortunately, not for him, because if it was him, he'd take it, and I wouldn't blame him. But it's a club option. Decline it. Get somebody good. Resign Xander Bogaerts. We'll say that.
He's in San Diego for the next 11 years.
That was still a shot to the kidney. But without Chris Sale here, there's really no ace. Who are you turning to on this Red Sox rotation to be your number one starter guy? Right now, this has been my personal bias for the past 3 years. I've never seen Garrett Whitlock as a starter. I've always seen him as I believe that he could be one of the greatest setup men or closers in the league. He proved that in his rookie year. He was the greatest setup man in 2021.
But if he proves that he can play both as a reliever and as a starting pitcher, you pick the starting pitcher 10 times out of 10. No. Because those guys they're more impactful. You get them once every 5 days. That's your ace. That's the guy who stops the bleeding when the team is starting to slump. That's your guy. Like with a closer or a setup man, doesn't always work that way.
Closer right now we have Kenley Jansen, and Kenley Jansen's been doing good this year. Right?
Okay.
So there's no complaints from me on Kenley Jansen. The
Besides
only
his
complaint
timing.
is that he's 35. That's the only complaint that I have. He's 35 years old. All right. We got maybe 1-2 years. And that's another thing.
His timing sucks though.
Well, yes.
His rhythm is. Do you remember in when they were facing St. Louis, and Jansen blew 2 saves because St. Louis decided to play chess and they threw off his timing and he walked a bunch of guys and he blew both saves. The Red Sox were on a roll.
Hey, I'm just going to say this. It's not as bad as last year, where in July we were leading the league in blown saves. We had 14 blown saves in July.
Yeah, and it was self-inflicted though.
The next highest team had like 6, and that is due to Matt Barnes. All right, thank God he's out of here. Now, if only we can get Ryan Brazier the hell out of Boston, life would be fine. The only complaint that I have about the Red Sox: why did we go out and sign everybody and their mother that was above 35 years old?
Because it's Chaim Bloom.
Well, why? You get these guys for max 2 years. Kenley Jansen is, I believe, 35, and I might be a little bit off on these ages. Justin Turner, I think, is 38 to be a backup third baseman and / DH guy. And then Adam Duvall is 35. Even though I might be wrong on this, but from what I've heard, he's been playing decent. Still, we gotta start building for the future. Rafael Devers is what? 26, I want to say 26, 27, somewhere around there. You got to start building for the next 3 to 4 years.
I agree, but
And especially when I
again,
said,
you're barking at the wrong tree here.
how do you mean?
It is all on the guy who is assembling the team, which is Heim Bloom. Allows Xander
100%.
Bogaerts to walk, yet he's signing all of these 35-plus-year-old guys.
To kind of be stopgaps. But okay. This is the thing I would say. All right. If we had prospects at those certain positions that were going to come up and do something in a year or two, I would not mind the stopgaps at all. Right? Let's look. Right field. Adam Duvall's 35. Who's going to be the stopgap guy there? Nobody. I couldn't name a single guy in the Red Sox farm system who is on pace. Is it Jarren Duran? Red Sox fans hate him after last year. You remember that one when the Red Sox got absolutely molested by, I think it was the Twins, where they gave up like almost 30 runs in a game.
Yeah, Duran actually got a lot better this year. I'll give him credit.
Yes,
he got much better, and I thought that his career was ruined once he lost that fly ball in the
and
lights.
just gave
that
up.
Was when, and then he gave up after that. Yeah, I thought that was the end. Red Sox fans were never gonna. Red Sox fans were never gonna live that down, but he didn't let that get to him, and he has. I will give him credit there. He has had a good year, but when you're 29 and 27, it's just not good enough. Especially since you're like it looks like these are moves that you would want your team to help you now. You bring in Kenley Jansen, you sign who's the guy who is really good at Corey Kluber.
Yes, I forgot about him too. Another 36-year-old guy.
Exactly. James Paxton, Michael Wacha last year, even though he's here.
Even though he went on a year-long silent retreat where no one heard from him, and we're like, where the hell's James Paxton?
It's because he was hurt.
Oh, yeah, but we never heard from him. Especially at the beginning of the year last year. We didn't know where the hell he was. He just kind of left.
Yeah. Also, Masataka Yoshida.
Not doing
he
too bad.
Seems like nobody realizes that he's 29.
Yes.
Like they didn't bring this guy in who's just some young gun who's going to be the future of the league. He'll be here for 4 productive seasons if he's still good. And that's going to be that.
I mean, but listen, he's getting paid, I believe, I could be wrong on the number exactly, but I believe it's $18.5 million for this year, or for 6 years each year. And this year he's averaging 312 so far. You can't really blame him. He's doing well. Right. There are some guys on this team who just aren't doing well at all. All right. AKA, and I was right about Adam Duvall before he got injured, because now he's on the 60-day IL, of course. He was batting .455. And that was with 33 at-bats and 15 hits. He was doing very well before he got hurt. Let me just go through random guys real quick. Connor Wong, for a catcher, not bad hitting stats at 244. Tristan Cassis, young guy, gonna struggle, only at 188, but I'd rather him be up here now. I like Tristan Cassis. Hopefully he can be what Bobby Dahlbeck wasn't. Even though Bobby Dahlbeck, did you see his absolute pimp shot?
I did.
In AAA, in the Worcester. I was 515 feet.
I was operating a camera for it. Yes, I know.
Really?
I didn't tell you, did I?
No.
I'm on the production team for the Woo Sox. So yeah, Bobby Dahlbeck has been mashing, but he's very unhappy there, according to many different sources. He believes that he should be at the big league level, but he's not doing well at the big league level. So he's kind of there. He's doing well, but whenever he's asked for an interview, he's, rightfully so. He's like, the kid wants to move up. He's too good for the AAA level, but he's still developing at the big league level. So it's tough for him.
He's a quadruple A player. I'm sorry. At this point in his career, he's a quadruple A player, right? He's amazing in AAA, not so good in the MLB. It's gonna be another Michael Chavis. Right? You remember the Ice Horse. We love the Ice Horse. Even though he wasn't that great, we love the Ice Horse. He's going to get traded to another team, maybe the Pirates, maybe the Reds, some team like that. Maybe the Athletics will take a flyer on him, and he's going to go and he's going to kick ass with one of those teams. And that's going to be fine. It happens to a lot of players who are in the Red Sox organization. They suck. They go off somewhere else with a lesser market, and they do great. Andrew Benintendi. And we've had that debate dozens of times.
Shut up.
All right.
That's not a good argument. That is not a good argument. Give me a break.
Small market benefited Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah, and he was able to hit probably the best out of the young kids in the postseason for Boston. He hit better than Xander Bogaerts in the postseason. He hit better than Mookie Betts. We're not getting into this, all right? We're not getting into
2018.
I understand. I completely understand your argument. All right. I don't think Andrew Benintendi fits that narrative. But the Red Sox used to do something like that, where they would have prospects in their system who were solid. They played well at the big league level, but they were more used as trade bait.
Yes.
Right. So you have the Rob Refschneiders of the world. You've got Jarren Duran. You got Bobby Dahlbeck. These are players who have all played pretty solid at the big league level. Cutter Crawford, Josh Winkowski. Those players should all be trade bait to go and get something to win, to help you win championships. This is Boston. We don't treat our prospects as if they're all our kids, right? You have your blue chip prospects who are like the Marcelo Myers of the world, who are meant to win right here, right now, once they get up here.
Yes.
You be patient with them. All the other guys, you should be trading them for pieces that can help you at the big league level, because that's Boston. That's what they used to do.
Yes.
This is Chaim Bloom now. And he doesn't run it. He doesn't run the organization like he is like it's Boston. He runs it like it's still the Rays, where you have 5 players at each position. You bring them all up, and you hope one of those players at each position works, and then that's how you do it. That's how the Rays did it. That's how the A's do it. That's how all the small market teams do it.
That's how the teams with $100 million in cap do it. This is the Red Sox. We have $250 million in cap.
And they don't even use it.
No.
So there's the problem. That it's one thing to be smart with the resources that you have. But you know what's not smart is having resources and not using them. With the resources that the Red Sox have, they should never be finishing in last place or even third or fourth. They should be at least first or second every year. Maybe third, I guess. I'm being a little too unfair because you can't be in contention every year. But
you're going to have bad seasons.
There is no excuse for the Red Sox finishing last. In the same way, there's no excuse for the Yankees to do the same thing, except they have accomplished that. They're always in contention. And if they're not, they're at least competitive. They're above 500. That's what I want from the Red Sox. The Yankees are accomplishing it. Granted, they haven't won many championships in the last 20 years, but they've at least remained competitive, right? They have different issues. They need to try and find ways to get over that hump, but at least they are playing up to their potential. The Red Sox aren't. They're the laughing stock of the league right now.
Yeah,
so that's kind of the problem here.
Well, they're not really the laughing stock of the league. They're still above 500. They're just last in the AL East because the AL East is the best division in baseball.
It's not good enough.
I know it's not good enough, but you got to look around. The A's have finally got their prospects up who are doing great things. Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, they still got a few guys in the wings.
You mean the Orioles?
The Orioles, yes.
You said A's.
Shut up. But they got a couple guys still in the wings. The Yankees are still going to do their thing. The Rays got off to one of the hardest starts in baseball. And then Toronto is doing well with their guys, right? Toronto built their guys up through the draft, but have started to add pieces. They're still doing their thing. The Red Sox have just kind of been stagnant. And going back to the prospect thing, there are some guys that I really, really like in the organization that I feel are going to be really good key contributors up at the major league level in a year to 3 years. Marcelo Meyer, only 19 years old, just got promoted to Double-A up in Portland. He's going to do some great things, right? Brendan Salucci, Kristen Koss, some of those guys. Am I just mentioning guys that I've had on the podcast? Sure, but is there any bias in there? Absolutely not. I got to send them some merch, though. We still remember this? Yeah, we still got the merch. But anyway, going off that, it's just that I feel that some of the older guys just aren't stopgaps, which is what you bring a 35-plus-year-old to do. You can make a case that Corey Kluber was brought in to kind of mentor Brian Bello and kind of help him through. But Bayo, same thing. But not really, because you already have that guy in Chris Sale. Right? You already have some of these guys. But I do like, outside of Chris Sale, I kind of think you have a competent pitching staff between Tanner Houck, Garrett Whitlock, and Bayo being your starters of the future, because all of them are 28 and under. Relievers, work needs to be done. And then Kenley Jansen for 2 years, sure, right? But the only place where you can say somebody is a stopgap player right now is Kike Hernandez, who's going to be a stopgap player for the next 2 years for Meyer to come up when he's probably 20, 21 years old. And Meyer's going to be that guy at second base or shortstop for the next 12 years, hopefully. Yeah. But going back to some other guys, Kike's not doing the greatest at 239. Devers, 252. Marcelo Meyer, Yoshida we talked about. Duran batting 288. Verdugo batting 288. And Justin Turner's DH at 267. I'll take that for a 37, 38-year-old Justin Turner. Right. And then some of the guys off the bench. Ref Snyder's 284 with 81 at-bats. That's very good. Ramel Tapia, who I forgot he was even on the team. Reese McGuire. Fuck that guy. I want him traded. I don't care if he's batting 293.
We're swearing on this show now?
Yes, that's been the case ever since basically Ari left. So right. Screw that guy. Whoever Pablo Reyes is, do you know who that is?
I couldn't tell you.
Apparently he's from the A's, and now he's with the Red Sox. Yeah, he has played a total
13 games. 13 games, 33 at bats. He's a utility player.
He's a utility guy, but spent a little bit of time with Pittsburgh, spent a little bit of time with Milwaukee. Now he's with Boston. Okay, cool. Welcome, Pablo. Going over to the pitchers. Chris Sale with a 4.58 ERA before he got hurt. And then the other five, Tanner Houck with a 5.3, Pivetta with a 5.5, Corey Kluber with a 6.2. Bayo's probably our best guy right now with a 3.89. And then, really? Zoom is making me... Okay, apparently Zoom has this thing where you can only be on for an hour, so I guess we only got like 9 minutes left. And Whitlock at a 5.14. So Bayo is our best guy as a starter right now with 8 starts. Damn. Not much you can say about that.
This is why you're going to need StreamYard, by the way.
Shut up. Probably have to. And then Kenley Jansen as our closer with let me see if he'll show me his saves. 11 saves. Doesn't show me any blown saves, but probably a couple. Josh Winkowski, my boy. Salute him one time. Salute. Thank you. I told you. Hey. You will respect Josh Winkowski around here. I've said it for 2 years now. You will respect this guy. Okay? 2.08 ERA. Better than Andrew Benintendi. Ryan Brazier sucks. John Schreiber, okay, before I got hurt. Cutter Crawford, James Paxton, Chris Martin with a 37 years old. That's another guy we forgot about with a 1.72 ERA in 16 games. Damn. In 13 innings or 15 innings. I'm sorry. And you got other guys like Ryan Sheriff, who's come up for a little bit with a 1.93 ERA. And the rotation or the relievers have just been kind of circle in, see who's next, call up, call down. Someone gets hurt. It's a carousel of relievers right now. But
And
we do have
that's kind of the problem, isn't it?
yes, it is. You know, we need at least a couple guys who can be true setup and closer guys in this rotation. And in terms of the setup guy, unless you want to talk about 37-year-old Chris Martin, you don't really have one. And that's where Garrett Whitlock comes into play. See, sometimes I just make sense. All right. When he was a reliever, he had a 1.8 ERA and was one of the best relievers in baseball.
Yeah. But if he can do both, then you pick the starting pitching. Just saying. If he can be a starting pitcher, then you have him be that starting pitcher. That's what you just have to do that.
I'm still saying though, right? He had an amazing year after he won on the Pesky Pole podcast, and then he was invited to come back to do another interview after the season. He left me on red, and then he had not a great season. So am I saying it's a curse to leave Pesky Pole podcast on red? No, I'm just saying that the evidence is there. Okay, for any guys watching this, if you don't see it, if you don't even look at the message, you're fine. But if you leave me on scene, it's not good. Okay, so last thing, really quick before we sign off. This morning, Red Sox extend Rob Refsnyder for another couple years. So it's a 1-year deal with a club option for 2025. He's 32 years old. He originally signed as a minor league free agent, but then came up to really be a utility guy. It's not showing me numbers for how much they paid him, but in terms of having Rob Refsnyder as a utility player, guy off the bench, I'm all for it. Why are you shaking your head?
Because they just have too much. They have too many players who are kind of utility caliber guys.
No such
who
thing.
Are getting
no such
meaningful.
Thing.
What are you talking about?
No such thing as too many utility guys.
I disagree. You have all of these players around here, and you're giving out your star talent like Candy being Heimblum, and you're just keeping all of these other guys around. Like what makes these guys so special that you have to let go of Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts, Andrew Benintendi?
Andrew Benintendi sucked, but
for 10 games.
He sucked, but
10 games.
Yeah.
10
Josh
games.
Winkowski doesn't suck. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. I've been trying to warn you about Josh Winkowski for 2 years now.
They got a terrible return for Mookie Betts. They let Xander Bogaerts go for nothing.
Well, Verdugo's been okay, but other than that, yes.
Yeah, but that's not good enough for Mookie Betts.
Yes.
He's one of the best talents in all of baseball.
Top
and he
10
also
player
won
in
a
baseball. Yes.
He also did go on to win a championship, which is it is something. So, I mean, the Dodgers are doing things to win championships, and they're staying competitive for well over a decade now. And here you are, a team that should be mentioned in the same breath as the Dodgers. You're twiddling your thumbs and dinking around with Josh Winkowski and Rob Refsnyder.
Don't you
and
dare
Connor
disrespect Josh Winkowski like that. All right, you can throw Rob Refsnyder in there. I won't be mad. Don't you dare throw Josh Winkowski.
Bobby Dahlbeck.
We will see.
Reese McGuire, who can't just walk home to do what he wants to do.
If you know, you know. All right, we had a field day on that episode, on that trade deadline episode. That's all I'm going to say. All right, and we have 4 minutes left. Anything else you want to talk about football wise before we hit the end record button?
Well, nothing too much football wise. Plenty of free agents left that we talked about on our show.
Hopkins.
Well, we've already talked about that a lot, but there's a lot of defensive free agents that just haven't been talked about. Dalvin Cook could be cut very soon, which is crazy
because they feel like Alexander Madison can do what an all-pro running back can do, which I don't agree with in the slightest. But
I agree. I agree. Dalvin Cook is awesome, but Alexander Madison is, when he's been given the chance, he's been awesome.
Well, the Vikings, I'm not surprised that they do this. They just suck. Kirk Cousins is the best thing about that team. Salute Kirk Cousins one time.
And not Justin Jefferson.
Kirk Cousins for the one time.
I refuse. Justin Jefferson is the best thing about that team, and he had quietly one of the best seasons of a wide receiver ever. Yardage-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And they also just drafted Jordan Addison to go along with him. So it's all the talent around him, including Dalvin Cook, who's also been awesome for years. And Cook, he's going to have a market. There's already the Miami Dolphins who have been reportedly interested in him. The Buffalo Bills expected to have some interest. Plenty of teams out there who need a running game and could use Dalvin Cook for a year or two. So we'll have plenty of that. So go check out the Fumblerooski podcast and learn about all of it.
100%. I will leave the link down in the description as always, whether you're on Spotify, other podcast platforms that I'm signed up for that I don't know that I'm signed up for, YouTube, whatever. You will listen to this episode. And Adam, anything else you want to say to the people before we sign off?
Fire Heimblum. Get him out of there.
No.
Go in a different direction.
Too early for that. If we end the season under 500, I will probably be there with you. But until then,
seen way too much of Rob Refsnyder, Connor Wong, Jaron Duran, Cutter Crawford. Too much of them.
You were just talking good about Jaron Duran. Don't start with me.
He's had a good year, but that should be reason to trade him and get something meaningful for him in a package of all of these prospects who might be productive at the big league level, but only as utility players. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's trade deadline just gonna be like 2019 again. Remember we sucked and now we got Ryan Trashner.
You don't need to tell me about you don't need to remind me about that.
It was Andrew Kastner? Was that his name? I don't remember. But yeah, that was our one piece, and then everyone was expecting, yay, we got a reliever who ended up with like a 7 ERA. But I only got a minute left. With that being said, thank you to everyone who listened to the first episode in about 10 months. We're going to try and keep it weekly on Saturdays for as long as I can. That schedule will have to change a little bit come August, September because of my work. But other than that, thank you guys so much for listening. God bless you guys. I'll see you next time.
I just wanna feel free, and I just wanna be me. Yeah, I just wanna go so crazy. I just wanna be free. Yeah, I just wanna rise to the top. Yeah, I just wanna go reach the peak. So I've been really well focused on success. Hey, y'all will see. Yeah, you'll see that I will get it. Cause I'm really focused, man. I make it with the rap and I just follow my path. I just follow my passion. To me, this is what's precious. Yeah, in my soul, man, I can feel it. So every single verse, man, I just gotta go and kill it, man. I gotta be the kid. I could be the guy taking you wild. I could be the villain, but good as a kid. Lately I'm painting my path on my way. Yeah, I got no time that I can waste. So I've been sitting in the space. Yeah, making rest every day, man. You know that I go insane. Yeah, I hit you with a bullet to the brain. Let us stop first if we go insane. You don't know what I'm gonna do. You don't know what is next. And I'm loving the fact, truly it's making me blessed. Cause I work on my team, no snakes in the grass. And we have been twisting the wind because of the work that we did in the past. Because of the work that we did in the past. When we went to hours, you barely got breath. So I get the realm and we didn't finesse. So I got the feelings that we might be next. Cause when we go in, we win in the match. Yeah. When we go in, we win in the match. So that's how we do, cause we be the best. We be the best. Yeah, we be the best. Yeah, we be the best. We be the best. Hey, yeah, we be the best. Hey, we be the best. Yo, you wanna come on my test? Well, you want to see we the best. Hey, you don't see that we're the best here, so I suggest you never really come and test it. But otherwise, I will smack your face like Michael Jordan does with a ball in the basket. Oh damn kid, but you didn't expect it. You never really thought that this could just happen. But now already come on and we put out with the action. Cause people defeat those they don't get it like.